Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, JRC Restoration, Decor and Designs, and my name is Phyllis. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you how I will be making a picture frame for my 45 or 50-inch TV that is hanging up on my wall in my home office. I will be using the trim off of some Walmart mirrors, or just one Walmart mirror, and I've had several of these mirrors for a while, and I have one hanging in my kitchen. I use it as my writing my grocery list on, and then also styrofoam pieces off of an old bed and mirror. First, here is an online visual of the mirrors that you get from Walmart, and they're $7. A lot of people use these as DIYs for certain things. And then these are the styrofoam pieces, ornate pieces that I forgot was even in my garage. This belonged to a headboard, and the mirror, and a small mirror, or actually the mirror that goes to a dresser, that my daughter purchased early 2000s, when she's 38 now, or 37, and she was like in her early 20s. But this stuff has been sitting in my garage since I moved here in 2014. What I'm sharing here is I'll be cutting off the end pieces to put on the corner, each corner of the frame. And then also, and I'll be painting it out and giving it a bronzing look. Coming up right now is the inspiration that I found on Pinterest. And it is so close to what I want to do. As I look at it now, I did a little bit different. I put all my ornates right on the frame. On here, you'll see it extending from the frame. And then coming up now is the TV that is hanging up in my office. I put it up on this wall when my daughter moved out in 2020. So if you'd like to see how all of this comes together, then just keep watching. And I want to thank you all for stopping by. Hello everyone, so I'm in my office and I'm doing some rearranging. You don't see the IKEA hack bookshelf there anymore because it's in my bedroom, and I bought the fireplace out of my bedroom into here. This wall, I'm trying to think whether I'm going to paint it or put this wallpaper. I'm thinking I'm going to put wallpaper because I have an idea for the wall behind me, which this shelf used to be on. What I am doing is I'm taking trim from a mirror, one of those not Dollar Tree, but Walmart mirrors, this trim here, because it was coming off the mirrors. And right now it's just scotch taped up there. I've already cut one using my hot knife and it's perfect there, but I still need to cut some more off there. I'm going to use this angle here to measure to cut this. And once I do that, I'm going to glue them together with some E6000 because these things are plastic, and inside of them there is styrofoam. When you cut inside of these things, you can't see it here, but there's styrofoam. And then I'm going to do it some bronzing gold, and I'm going to put them up there using some two-sided sticky tape because these things are lightweight. There's no weight hardly to them. But I love that the sensor again is under this, but it can read it, and I am so glad. So this is another way that I'm using what I already have on hand to create. And I only got it taped up there so I can measure it and see where to cut. And I'm laying the frame right on top of the TV. Okay, finally got it. After 3 attempts of trying to get this to make sure that the corners match. And I remembered that I had some corner brackets, but I'm going to get those to put the corners together. And what I have right now is the glue gun, so I'm going to use that. And I have to get some E6000 to make it permanent. Okay, these are the brackets that I had. They're silver, but I painted them gold like a year or 2 ago for another project that I never put them on. So these are the ones that I'm going to put on the frame to hold the frame together since it's thin. I'm not going to screw it in. I'm going to use the hot glue to glue it together until I get some E6000. So I got this put together, and you can barely see the gold piece under it. But I am painting the whole thing with the same black so all the pieces can have the same finish, which is supposed to be a flat finish. And then I think I have enough gold in here to kind of dust the frame with gold. But right now I'm just going to paint the whole thing with the same black. because when I do it with the gold, I want it to have the same finish. And the reason why I stated I wanted them to all to have the same finish is because I noticed once I put the frame up on the TV, when I was taping it up before I actually took it down to paint it, the top and the left part of the frame had a flat finish, and the right and the bottom of the trim had a glossy finish. So I guess when you purchase these mirrors from Walmart, they have two different finishes, so that the effect would be the same when I put the gold paint on it to give it an antique finish. I just wanted to paint it all with the same black paint. And what I'm sharing with you here is this wood piece that I had from when I was covering my fireplace and my floors. I took the two-sided tape off of the back of there. I removed the red piece and then took the two-sided sticky tape and just put a piece in each corner to adhere it to the frame until I buy the nano tape. And here again, this is the paint that I use. Instead of buying Rub and Buff, I had enough of this left over to paint the trim and to paint all the appliques. So let's just get back to the video. This is one of the mirrors. I think I've shared in one of my videos how I keep a mirror up here. The one that was here, I put in my room, but I like to just write my grocery list or what I have to purchase from the store on here. But this is the Walmart mirror. And one was broken. I already had those pieces, and then another one was breaking, and I took the trim from that, and that's how I'm creating my trim for my frame TV. Okay, and here it is. I put a coat of the gold, and I think that's Emperor Gold. That's what that is, Emperor Gold paint on top of this frame after it dried. And then coming up, I adhered it to my TV in my office using, again, that peel and stick adhesion that was on the back of that wood trim piece. And the wood trim piece I purchased to put as a finishing around my fireplace floor. I never showed that to you all. And it wasn't something that I was going to be sharing, but that's what that wood trim piece is. It's peel and stick wood trim. And on the back of that, I removed that red tape and took the adhesion off of that and put it in the corner of each piece of the trim, and also the top and bottom and in the middle of each trim, which is what I was pointing out here. Okay, here's my frame around the TV. I chose a picture off of YouTube of a scenery. This met up perfectly, and this one did too. However, this side, when I went to put the brackets on the back, left a space there and up there, but again, those are going to be hidden with the corner appliques and the adhesive that was on the back of this. All I did was took pieces and roll them, and that's how it's sticking on right there. And the stuff that came on this is very strong. So, and I don't have to take it down when I put the appliques up there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these prepared, but first again, I got these. These were in my garage on an old headboard, and this piece, the smallest one, was on a mirror, and this is from a bed set that my daughter got back in the early 2000s. I'm going to first remove these pieces off with my X-Acto knife, and I've already put it up on my television, and I love the way it looks, but I'm going to come back later and take off 2 more pieces off of the bigger piece and 2 more pieces off of the bottom piece, because I do want these also on each side of the trim. And after I take them apart, then I'm going to paint it all black. And then after they dry, I left them overnight to dry. And then I come back and put on my gloves and dig my finger in the bottle to get enough to just kind of buff the appliques with the gold. So here it comes. I'm explaining to you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just using my X-Acto knife and just kind of cutting. And you can hear, well, there it is, came off nice and easy. Okay. You see, it's styrofoam and not wood. Hard to tell, but it is styrofoam. So I got that one off, and I'm going to cut the other ones off and let that be it. And then I'm going to see if I can kind of just, well, I'm just going to paint this. I'm not going to worry about trying to make it perfect. I just want something to cover the corners. I can kind of not sand them down, but just kind of trim them a little bit using my X-Acto knife. And then I will paint them black. And what I ended up using was my glue gun to adhere these appliques to the frame around the TV. So I'm going to show you here how easy it is to cut. See if I can show you here. You can even hear it. Kind of hard to do with one hand and holding the phone. Okay. I will end up putting the camera down and coming back because this was kind of difficult holding the phone with one hand and then trying to get through this with the other. Almost. Okay, I've cut all the pieces off. I cut just one piece off of this, and then I left this one on and just cut one piece. So this will go at the top of the TV in the corners, and this will go in the bottom in each corner. This will go in the center of the TV faced this way, and then this will be faced up. So basically, let me set it up and show you. Okay, so this is how it will be on the TV. So the corner pieces will be, yeah, that's how they have to be angled. This has to come in this way, and then, oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me see something. I wanted to kind of make the curls same way, so I think all I have to do is switch the top two parts by putting this one here. Okay, that's better. This can go up like that. So that's this curl part going down and this curl part going up. And then this one is down this way. And then this one is up that way. And then this here big part is facing down. And the big part of this is facing up. So that's how it will be on the TV. When I did put the corner pieces up on the TV, you'll see that they are not facing, the curly parts or the ends are not facing up. I faced them both straight on. So that's the only different look you will see when I finally show it. Now what I didn't share with you all is me putting the gold paint on top of this after the black paint dried. But what I did was I just used a glove. I kept a glove on my hand and just dipped my finger in the bottle or the cap because there was not a lot left. And then I doing it this way, I control how much I put on. So coming up, you will see it all completed with the gold. Okay, I painted these using the rest of that Grecian gold that I had in the bottle, but I put a glove on my finger and used that. I was able to tap and use the little bit that's in the bottle, and it really gave me the look I want. So I've already started putting on one piece in the corner here, which is there. Because this is styrofoam and then the mirror frame is plastic, so that glue will stay on there. The hot glue gun is what I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and put these up, and I've already determined how to put them on. You can see the curved piece is this way, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to take this, and it's covering again these here. These two ends were perfect. The meeting of them were actually perfect. It's this end and that end where it didn't meet up. So that's why I'm using these to cover them. And I'm coming off the frame just slightly so it can cover the corner. Okay, so I put the bottom one down, and I'm using that blue tape to make sure that I put the center of this big piece there. I had it up and had to take it down, and you can see because that little black spot and that little black spot is paint that came off because I had the center of the big one just over too much. So I'm using this blue tape to use that as my center, as my guide to place the center of the big one. So this here will meet with the big centerpiece up there. So I'm going to put that up there now, and then I'll come back. Okay, I got it all finished, and I believe where I had the big one was centered, the bottom is not centered, because on this side there's like, I think I remember on this side, I know it's between the end of that and the end of the other one is 10 inches, and over here is like 12 and a half or 11 and a half. So this bottom one is actually not centered, which causes me to put that off center. They're centered to each other, but if you look over here, this is smaller and there's more space in between. So because it's styrofoam, it's easy for me to remove. I'm not going to do it right now because it took me a while to put up there, but then I still want something on the sides, so I can still take these pieces off the big one and then these pieces off the little one and put two together here and two together there, and that will give me the full completed look that I want. But looking at it now, I really like it. So I will take it down and do that, but I just don't want to do it now. So since editing this video, I have taken the two end pieces off of the larger applique at the top and put one on each side between the top and bottom appliques. The top appliques and the bottom appliques, they're so glued, it was actually hard to take off. I thought it was going to be easy, but I didn't want to risk breaking the frame or cracking it. So I just took the two pieces that's on the end of the big one and I put them in the middle on each side. So now there's something on every piece, if that's not confusing, on every strip of the frame. But again, I love the way this turned out, and I love most of all that I had everything on hand. And I want to say I was pleasantly surprised when I went in my garage and saw these styrofoam appliques attached to the headboard and a mirror that I was actually able to take off and reuse, and I didn't have to spend any money at all for anything. So if you all enjoyed this and love to see different DIYs that I do, especially with things that I already have on hand, then give this a thumbs up if you like what you saw. If you are new, please consider subscribing. And for my faithful viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for your viewing, faithful support. And I want to thank you all for stopping by. Thank you so much for watching. JRC Restoration, Decor, and Designs. And remember, the distance between your dreams and reality is called action. So until next time, make it a blessed and productive day, everyone. Bye-bye.